What's good, YouTube? That192 here, back again, once again. And today, I am the coach of your Tucson Terrakions in the UCL, the United Championship League. And today, we are here for our week 6. It's more weeks than I can fit on a hand, unless you got like one of. Anyways, we are here for week 6 teams preparation video. And this week, you guys, I'm gonna say this week might be the week that the streak ends, because this week we are going up against a very crazy matchup. That's the only word I can say for it. Ever since week 1, people have been waiting for this week, because this week we are going up against a good friend of ours, our Soul Link partner, Shady Penguin, coach of the fabled New York Mankeys. And unlike previous weeks, we don't have a good team matchup. When we took on Leo, who was a great Wi-Fi battler, we had team advantage. Our team was just on paper better than his. Even though misplays were made and whatever happened, our team looked better than his. We had the advantage there. When it comes to Nexus, we had everything we needed to handle his team. Even though he's a great battler, we had that advantage. This week, we do not have that advantage, and Shady is a better Wi-Fi battler than I am. His entire channel started, and it's grown into more than just Wi-Fi battling, but he is known for his Wi-Fi battles, so he has a better team than ours on paper, and he has more knowledge and experience in Wi-Fi battling. So if this week we do end up losing to Shady, I would not be surprised, but that does not mean that we are not going to try. We are not going to underestimate. We're going to put our best foot forward and try to continue and keep our streak alive. So if you guys are hyped for this week's UCL Wi-Fi battle, and of course if you're a proud member of the Nappy Nation and you're supporting your Tucson Terrakions, make sure you smash that like button down below for us, because you already know your support is greatly appreciated. Now, looking at Shady's team, which again, I should have a graphic. I say this every single goddamn week. I'm going to make a goddamn note. Get graphic for team prep video opponent team. God damn, I keep forgetting every single week. We're 6 weeks into this now. You think I know. But Shady's team, in his OU picks, he has Landers T, which is one of, if not the best OU mon. I think he used to be number 1. He got bopped down to either 2 or 3 by Garchomp. Garchomp, I think, is number 1 used Pokemon in OU right now. But still, Landers T is very, very scary. He has Mew, who in a league-type format is incredibly scary, because the best part about, it's really objective. The best and the hard part about a league format is adapting to fight your opponent's team. And when you have a Pokemon that's base 100 and can learn any TM in the game, that's adaptability right there if I've ever fucking seen it. So he has Landers T, Mew, and the scary, safety first please, Mega Pinsir as his OU picks. From UU, he has the bulky as fuck Milotic. He has Infernape and Blissey as well. From RU, he drafted Jolteon, Skuntank, and Shiftry, and from NU, he has Gramble, Girder, and Regirock. So he has a lot. No, I'm going to take that back. He has a ton of scary threats on our team. We have nothing for Mew. His Mew can easily tear a hole through our entire team. His Mega Pinsir, if we make the wrong move, his Mega Pinsir can tear a hole through our entire team. His Landers is going to be a problem right off the bat to begin with as well. The Milotic, whether it's got competitive or Marvel scale, is going to be a problem for us as well. Infernape can be physical or special, and can pop Cindy with Grass Knot. It's not fair. Why does he get Grass Knot? You know? So literally, and then the Jolteon is a huge threat for us. Literally, I'll explain it more in detail, but on paper, looking at his team compared to ours, he has so much more of an advantage than we do. It's crazy. I did sit down with Numb Nexus this week. We had like an hour and a half long grinding session. Not grinding session, this isn't a Let's Play. Team building session. That I actually just finished speaking to him before I recorded this. And we tried our hardest to put together a team to combat Shady. And it's really more of a, like, the best defense is a good offense kind of approach that we took. We have a very offensive team that has a little bit of bulk behind it as well. We're going to try to out-offense his offense while having the backup plan of some bulk if need be. And like I said, I'm very scared of this week's battle. Shady is a great battler, and one wrong move could just end it all. Like, we literally need, if there was a week that we needed luck, it's this week, because we need those max rolls. We need sort of hacks to hit, because if it doesn't, it's going to be a very difficult battle, or we're just going to get swept. So let's go ahead and take a look. And I just want to clarify, some people seem to have this impression that when I say I team build with people, either team build with Nexus or Joey, I go to them and just say, hey, build me a team. And that's not how it is at all. Like, we literally sit there and we bounce ideas off of each other, and it's one of those things where we step-by-step craft a team, because by the time we get a final 6 mons, I could have sat here and gone through 10 of the 12 mons that we had in consideration for it before we finally weigh the pros and cons and decide what to go with. So it's one of those things where me as an inexperienced battler, I go and consult a better battler or a more experienced battler in Nexus or Joey, and they help me mold and craft our team together. So it's not just, oh hey, build me a team. No, I'm not good at team building. It's a very weak point for me when it comes to battling, so I do want to have someone who's more experienced kind of guide me through it and help me with it as well, but that's neither here nor there. So let's go ahead and get into this week, you guys. We have our team, the Tucson Terrakions this week, and for the first time this season, we have our Cradily making an appearance. Yes, yes, yes! Cradily is here. I've been wanting to use this thing since the start because Cradily, it's one of those Pokemon that has so much potential. If you put it in the right situation, it can do work. It's just, that's like a 30% of the time kind of deal, where more often than not, there's another Pokemon that does its job better than it can, and its typing is really, really unique. But this time around, it's here more so as a special wall. It's not the world's greatest special wall, but it's here because of its typing and because of the fact it can take hits. Because the biggest threats on Shady's team are the Landorus, the Mew, the Mega Pinsir, and the Jolteon. This thing is built, I wouldn't say it's built specifically for the Jolteon, but Shady's Jolteon can't touch this Cradily, and that's the best part about it, because over the past couple weeks, he has brought that Jolteon. He loves to Volt Switch with the Jolteon. He loves to get a Choice Specs Volt Switch off and get out and go out to somebody else. With this Cradily, aptly nicknamed Inside Out, because he's going to take them little tentacles and put them all inside and out your body. But he's rocking the Assault Vest so that he can take hits better. We played with the idea of putting Stealth Rocks on Cradily as well, but we ultimately decided to go with a more bulkier approach with Cradily this time around. So he's running just 4 standard moves. Ancient Power, obviously because of Stab, we have the chance to get a boost off of that as well. We played with the idea of going with Hidden Power Rock instead, just for PP usage, because they're both base 60. Ancient Power has 8 PP, whereas Hidden Power Rock has 24. But we ultimately decided to go with Ancient Power simply because of the fact we can get the boost from that, and if we get the boost on Cradily, that would be absolutely amazing. So we have Ancient Power on him. We have Earth Power we have Earth Power for coverage, because I believe I have to check the damage calc again, but I'm pretty sure we can take a Flare Blitz from Infernape. I think we can take a Flare Blitz from Infernape because it's only neutral. We're not taking a close combat, but if he does decide to go for a Flare Blitz for whatever reason, we can actually live 1 and go for an Earth Power, which does like 75%, and obviously max a roll or a crit is going to kill. So Earth Power is there just for coverage as well against the Skuntank, too, if he decides to bring the Skuntank or the Jolteon, period. Earth Power is there so we can hit back as hard as we can, and maybe get a special defense drop if need be, but like I said, it's there to cover the Skuntank. Skuntank at first seemed like an issue for us. Poison Jab, I think, is the strongest thing he can hit us with. I think that does like 40 to 50% or something like that. But if he's going to 2-shot us, an Earth Power definitely 2-shots him. So I'm not too concerned about that. Giga Drain is obviously there for Stab as well, and that helps us get some HP back because we're not running Leftovers, and we don't have Ingrain. Would be that guy run Ingrain. But Giga Drain's there. It does neutral damage to the Landorus. It can get decent damage off on the Mew, the Milotic as well. This thing walls on Milotic. Giga Drain is there to do stab damage to the Jolteon if we didn't have any more Earth Powers. Or, you know, it's just there for options. It's stab, we can get HP back off it as well. But like I said, because of the fact that we are Assault Vested, Shady's Milotic can't touch us. He could Toxic us, sure, he could try and do that. He can't Scald us because of Storm Drain. If he's running Scald, Storm Drain, Storm Drain's not a move. He's running Scald, Ice Beam, Toxic, Recover, which is standard Milotic. He could Toxic us, he would have to Toxic Stall us out. But at that point, we're doing more damage to him with Giga Drain than he can do to us with Ice Beam. He would have to freeze us, but he can't freeze us if he Toxics us. So it's one of those things where it's just situational. It goes back and forth. But Ice Beam's the only thing Milotic can hit this Cradily with, and we can eat it up. Especially because it's not Stab. and we're assault vested. So that's the idea, that's the reasoning behind the assault vest over leftovers. And last but not least, we have Sludge Bomb, which is, it opened up our eyes. We did not realize that Cradily got Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave. He actually gets both. And it gets Sludge Bomb, and Sludge Bomb is there specifically for Shiftry. It's there for the Shiftry and the Gramble, because we can take a hit from Gramble as well, and we can turn around and Sludge Bomb right back. Sludge Bomb is there specifically for those two, and plus, we decided to go with Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave on the off chance that he, if we reveal that we have Sludge Bomb or he swaps out or whatever, it's got a 30% chance to poison, whereas Sludge Wave only has a 10% chance. And the fact that Sludge Wave only does 5 points more in damage, in the long run, it's not exactly worth it. You know, it's not the difference between like Thunder or Thunderbolt or Fire Blast over Flamethrower, you know, it's just 5 points. So we would rather try and get chip damage off, because like we said, Shady's team is scary, it's frightening, it completely has so many mods that can run through our entire team, so any and all chip damage we can get off is essential. So if he decides to swap out to his Landorus, and when he takes a Sludge Bomb, and he ends up getting poisoned, that's constant chip damage every turn he's in, that we're going to take off on that Landorus. So it's just little things like that. So we decided to end up going modest. 252 in HP, 220 in special attack, and 36 in special defense. So you guys can see yet again how, like I said, it's one of those things where we have a little bit of bulk to take hits if need be, but at the same time we're trying to hit him hard. So it's like a bulky offensive type of team. One of those things where if we need to take a hit, hopefully we can, but it's not in the sense of like how Cindy's been playing the past couple weeks, where we're just going to completely bulk out hits and just whittle his team down. We want to be able to take at least 1 or 2 hits and hit him back just as hard as he hit us. That's the idea behind this team. So like I said, we're modest, 220 special attack, 36 in special defense, and 252 in HP that allows us to take certain hits that we need to. I'm just happy that Cradily is getting used, because he hasn't had the chance to be used yet throughout the entire season. Is there anybody on our team that hasn't been used yet at all? I don't think so. I think now with the use of Cradily, everybody on the Tucson Terrakions have been used at least once. We drafted Weezing, or we traded Weezing over from the Bristol City Blazekins back in week 2. And we only used him in that one matchup, and we didn't even use him for what we needed to. But still, we have Weezing here. Cradily was the only one that hadn't been used yet, and now Cradily is being used, so I'm happy. I just hope Cradily ends up coming through and doing what it needs to do. Up next, we have Cheshire, our Gengar. Now, this is our win check. This is our offense that's going to outspeed this Gengar, barring certain choice scarfers, outspeeds everything on his team. Everything on the New York Yankees team except for a Scarf Landorus and Jolteon. So unless he slaps a Scarf on his Infernape, or he slaps a Scarf on his Shiftry, or if he runs some odd, weird set, which I wouldn't put it past him, it is League format, this Gengar should outspeed everything. We actually, with max speed, we only outspeed his Infernape by 2 points, which makes sense because its higher base speed is by 2 points as well. But we're rocking Black Sludge to get a little bit of HP back, but we're also rocking Shadow Ball, Icy Wind, Sludge Wave, and Substitute. Now, going back to the whole conversation I just had with Sludge Bomb versus Sludge Wave, in this case, since Gengar is such a hard special attacker, we're trying to go all out. 100% all out and hit his team as hard as we can. That's Gengar's job. Whereas Cradily will have more chances to go ahead and throw out Sludge Bombs and have a higher chance to get a poison off. Gengar might only be in there for 1 or 2 turns before he has to be swapped out, because he can't bulk hits as well as Cradily can. So we're there to dish out as much damage. Sludge Wave still has a chance to poison. It's only 10% versus Sludge Bomb's 30%, but he's here. If for whatever reason we can get a substitute off, that is the goal. There's not many Pokemon where we can get a substitute off on. Mew is an option to get a substitute off on, because if we can force the switch with Mew, because Shadow Ball, I think if Shady runs max HP, max special defense, Shadow Ball still does like 65% or somewhere around there to him, so he still hits like a fucking truck to that Mew. So if that Mew is below half, we can confidently kill it with this Gengar, and if the Mew is gone, that's 1 defogger off his team. I think the only Mon that he gets defog with is Shiftry, I think. We were talking about that. So if he doesn't bring the Shiftry and all he has is Mew, and we can get rid of the Mew with Cheshire here or anybody else, then his defogger's gone. So we can, if rocks aren't set up already, we can confidently set them up and know they're not gonna go anywhere. But still, he is here. Shadow Ball does vicious damage to most of his team. Icy Wind is there just for the Landorus. If he wants to swap in the Mega Pinsir, Icy Wind can do damage to that as well. Same thing with the Regirock and the Shiftry. The only real thing on his team that kind of sort of walls this Gengar would be Skuntank. Because if he brings in Skuntank and tries to Pursuit Trap with it, then that's a problem. Really, we can't touch the Skuntank. Shadow Ball is resisted. Icy Wind, we can slow it down as much as we want. Sludge Wave is resisted as well. There's really nothing that we can do. Even if we ran Focus Blast, it's only neutral. Skuntank can be bulky in certain situations. So really, if Shady brings the Skuntank, that's what I'm talking about. Where it's like, it's one of those things where on paper, his team is a threat to ours. It runs through our team. But on our team, this one that we made, this Gengar is our win check. We need to try and keep him alive, send him in at the most opportune moments, and if we can't get that substitute up, then I can confidently say we're knocking out one, if not two, of his Pokemon before that substitute's gone. So hopefully that's the plan, that's the idea. Shadow Ball, Icy Wind, Sludge Wave substitute. We are 252 special attack, 252 in speed. Gengar has no reason to put it in HP. The only reason we put the 4 in defense is on the off chance we can take a quick attack from Shady's Mega Pinsir. Because of Aerialate, it turns quick attack into a flying type attack. So he could easily send in Mega Pinsir and try and get a quick attack off just to get chip damage off on Gengar. We just have to hope and pray that we have enough HP to live it, and that 4 in defense can make the difference between us dying to a quick attack or us living a quick attack. So it's very risky, it's very, very risky, and of course we're timid nature, so we can outspeed everything on his team, except for a Scarf Landorus, which Scarf Landorus isn't uncommon. That's why I bring up Scarf Landorus. If his Landorus isn't Scarf, then we absolutely outspeed it, no problem. Besides the Scarf Landorus, Jolteon is the only thing on his team that naturally outspeeds our Gengar. And if it comes down to that, it's just going to come down to how much damage can he do versus us. You know, do we have enough HP to live a hit from him? And if not, then that might be the end of Treasure. Or we can swap out and go out to Inside Out or Cradily, because literally he can't touch us with that Inside. I mean, with Jolteon. If he specs, which I wouldn't put it past him, it's gonna hurt a little bit more, obviously, and we'll be able to tell if he specs by that as well, based on how much damage it does. But Inside Out, again, is primarily there for the Jolteon to handle that, and a few of his other threats as well. But Gengar Treasure is back again, once again, and it makes me happy because I like using Gengar. He's the best. Up next, we have Titania, who is returning this week. Titania actually was not in action last week. What is that, for the first time? Was it the first time last week Titania wasn't in action? Let's see. We didn't bring... Yeah, for the first time last week, Titania, she had a week off. This week, she is back. Titania is our Mega Gardevoir. We are rocking Hyper Voice, Psyshock, Will-O-Wisp, and Taunt. It's one of those Gardevoir sets where we're really more so here to be offensive, but at the same time, it provides that support with Will-O-Wisp and Taunt as well, because we should be able to take a hit from the Mega Pinsir. Return, we're not going to appreciate at all. I think, actually, no. Do we live a return? I don't think we live a return, but we can live a quick attack from it. And if we can live that quick attack, or if we can catch it on the switch in, which I don't see really why Shady would ever want to do that unless he's trying to predict. Because Hyper Voice still tears through Mega Pinsir. Hyper Voice honestly tears through a lot of his team. But if we can get a Will-O-Wisp off on either the Landorus, the Mega Pinsir, the Shiftry, the Gramble. The Gramble might be a little risky because he could be carrying Quick Feet. That would be a problem. But if he's Intimidate, I'll try my hardest to keep my eyes open. I know sometimes I miss that. But honestly, Will-O-Wisp on pretty much half his team would be nice to have. And Taunt as well. Because if we get into a situation where I know he's going to swap, or I want to keep him from setting up because I know I outspeed. Like, for example, with Mega Pinsir, speed doesn't transfer over until after it Mega Evolves. So if, for whatever reason, Gardevoir is out against Pinsir, and Pinsir decides to Mega Evolve, turn 1, I can go from Taunt to keep him from Swords Dancing. And that would force him to go for a return or a quick attack or something else. And if he does end up going for a quick attack, knowing that he doesn't outspeed, then that's even better. We live. And now his Mega Pinsir's been burned. So that's honestly the next step for us. We have Burn the Bird, we have Burn the Blade, now we have Burn the Bug, goddammit! We're gonna burn that bug! And then Taunt is there as well, like I said, to keep him from Swords Dancing. It keeps the Mew from defogging, it keeps the Mew from Stealth Rocking, keeps the Mew from Soft Boiling, it keeps the Milotic from recovering, it keeps the, it completely shuts down Blissey. You know, it's just, Taunt ultimately ended up being a better option for us. We debated going for a Destiny Bond as well, because, like, for example, if he decided to go for a Quick Attack, you know, on that turn that he Mega Evolves or something else like that, I could Destiny Bond, so the second turn, he's forced to either Swords Dance or swap out. So I get the chance to get a free Will-O-Wisp off on anybody, or I get the chance to Hyper Voice away as much as I'd like to. And the only mon on his team that comfortably takes, Milotic is there with Marvel Scale as well, but if he wants to go out to Infernape to try and absorb that Will-O-Wisp, I don't ever see him going out to Infernape against us, because Infernape is not living in Hyper Voice, Infernape's not living a Psyshock. Infernape does, however, get Gunk Shot, and that's very, very scary. Gunk Shot, it's just one of those things where, why do so many random ass Pokemon get it? Why does Liper get Gunk Shot? Why does Greninja get Gunk Shot? Why does Infernape get Gunk Shot? They're like hawking up some phlegm or some shit out of their throat and shooting it at you from across the field. If that's the case, it should be super effective on anybody. But still, I don't understand. Like, some of the most random Pokemon get Gunk Shot, and it's just so annoying. But we have 24 in defense. That's there specifically to take quick attacks from the Mega Pinsir. I think with 24 defense, we can take 2 quick attacks, 232 special attack. It's not needed full special attack because Mega Gardevoir already hits like a truck, and 252 in speed with Timid Nature, so we can outspeed whatever it is that we need to. We don't want Gardevoir slower than she needs to be, especially because she hits so hard. She can eat up a few special hits, and at the same time, we're trying to taunt and burn some of Shady's Pokemon too, so Gardevoir doesn't need to be slower than she needs to be already. Up next, we have Urza, our Swellow, making a triumphant return. Urza's only been on the team once before, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Urza showed up in, what is that, week 3? Yeah, week 3 against David. And now Urza is back again, once again. How many times can I say that in one video? Urza is back once again, and this time around, again, it's standard set. Everyone likes to say, oh, this is standard, yada yada yada. If it's not broken, you don't need to fix it. We debated running quick attack on it, but ultimately at the end of the day we decided against, because like Mega Pinsir has like base 120 defense. Why is Mega Pinsir so fucking bulky? That's stupid. But we have Facade, Brave Bird, U-Turn, and Protect. Obviously Protect so we can let the Flame Orb activate and get the Guts boost if need be. Urza actually does outspeed everything. Urza's basically pretty much in the same boat as Cheshire. Urza outspeeds everything on Shady's team except for a Scarflando. Obviously, we're not going to appreciate a Stone Edge, and Jolteon. Obviously, we're not going to appreciate a Thunderbolt. But the way we have the EV sped, Nexus was teaching me about speed creeping, which I have done a little bit in the past, but he was giving me more details about it and showing me how it works exactly. Because if you take a look at the EV spread for Swellow, we're Jolly Nature, we have 51 in HP, 252 in attack, obviously so we can hit hard, 57 in defense, 4 in special defense, and 144 in speed. Because of Swellow's speed, Swellow does not outspeed Jolteon, so there's no point in us going for max speed against the Jolteon. Swellow loses that battle each time. No point in that. So what we decided to do, I think the next fastest mon on Shady's team, aside from a Scarflanders of course, is Infernape at like base 108 speed or something like that. We have just enough EV and speed at 144 to outspeed that Infernape, so we don't have to worry about it. And we're able to apply those speed EVs elsewhere, specifically in defense and HP, and that will allow us to take at least 2 quick attacks. If both quick attacks are min rolls, I think we calculate out to like 48%. If both quick attacks are min rolls, then that's quick attack to 3-hit kill. But at that point, all we have to do is take 1 quick attack because Mega Pinsir is not living a Brave Bird, so we don't have to worry about it to that sense. I think Mega Pinsir can live a Facade. Obviously, this is all from like full HP, because I think Facade only does like 67 to 75% or something like that, but min damage on Brave Bird's like 140, so we have no reason to go for a Facade. We can just Brave Bird and get the Pinsir out of there if need be. And Brave Bird does decent damage to everybody else on Shady's team, obviously barring the Regirock, obviously barring the Jolteon because they both resist it, but I think Brave Bird does like 20% to Jolteon, which is still decent damage considering. But at that point, we're forced to swap because Jolteon's obviously going to go down. So Urza is here specifically for that Mega Pinsir. I'm telling you, his biggest threats, Landorus, Mew, Mega Pinsir, Jolteon. Milotic can be scary as well. He has a very, very scary team. So Urza is here specifically for the Mega Pinsir if need be, and we can go from there. Up next, we have 30 minutes, our little Rotom Heat with his little click clackers on his hands here. This time around, we're not bulky. We are actually running a Scarf set, Overheat Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, and Hidden Power Ice. The reason behind us being Scarfed is, again, because we want to outspeed most of the things on his team. We want to be able to hit the Milotic hard with Thunderbolt. I think unless he's running AV Milotic, which if he is running AV Milotic, then that would be decent because he can't recover and he can't toxic, but I don't see him doing that. But I think if he's not running AV, I think Thunderbolt is either 2 or 3 hit kill on the Milotic, and I think Scald only does like 40% to us or something like that, so we would be able to get a clean 3 Thunderbolts off on him if need be. But either way, we have Overheat, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, that's obviously all common, and we have HP Ice this time around specifically for the Landorus T. HP Ice can also be nice against the Pinsir. Hip-hop, you don't stop. It could be nice against the Mega Pinsir. Obviously, Overheat and Thunderbolt would do more as well. But if we are trying to predict a swap and he ends up going out to Mega Pinsir, or if Mega Pinsir's there and we're scarfed into it or something like that, we just want to get a little extra damage off, we can stay in and Hidden Power Ice it. This thing is also here for Mega Pinsir as well, because Mega Pinsir's quick attack is quad resisted. Close combat or Stone Edge or Rock Slide would hurt the most for us, but because we're Scarf, we outspeed the Pinsir, and Thunderbolt does like 80% to Pinsir. So after Rock's Thunderbolt, he's not going to appreciate that, and Overheat, of course, one-shots. But if he wants to be that guy and try and go out to Landorus and think, oh, well, I'm going to dodge his Thunderbolt or his Volt Switch, HP Ice, we can hit Landorus and body him as well. The only problem with HP Ice is the Milotic, because obviously there are other mons on the team like Girder that's going to appreciate the HP Ice. It's going to do neutral damage against the Infernape. But the Milotic, if he ends up deciding to go out to Milotic predicting an Overheat, then an HP Ice will be problematic. That was one thing that Nexus and I really debated about, was either HP Ice or Trick, which would be better. We ultimately decided to go for HP Ice because Trick seems a little too obvious. But at the same time, that's kind of hypocritical in the sense that if it's not broken, we need to fix it. But it's league play. We're trying new stuff out, and we want to see how it works. Because you never know, that HP Ice could come in handy, and we're not going to drop our stats each time using Overheat. And we can HP Ice the Landorus T and get him out of here. You know, if there's ever a point where Shady thinks that it's safe to leave his Landorus in, or it's safe to go out to Landorus, we can catch him off guard with an HP Ice. Boom. One of the biggest threats on his team is gone. So I don't know, we'll see. Of course, if his Landorus is Scarfed, it's going to outspeed our Rotom, and Stone Edge is a very, very scary thing. But if he does, in fact, end up carrying Stone Edge, we can go out to Cradily to try and bulk a hit. We can go out to our last Mon Liability. I'm sure you guys see him there. It's not resisted, but because of the set we're running, we might be able to take it better, obviously. But we have 252 special attack, 252 speed, and 4 in special defense. We're timid nature. Again, it's just we're just trying to outspeed and hit Shady's team as hard as we can with as much offense as we can. That's the biggest thing here. So Rotom Heat, on top of that, also does have some decent special bulk behind him, and defensive bulk as well. His defenses are 127 and 128. What's his regular base defense? Isn't it like 110 or something like that? Rotom's regular base defense, all Rotom forms. So he has a little bit of bulk behind him as well. So if he needs to eat a hit here or there, he can and dish out damage right back to him. And our last Mon on the squad, last week's MVP, Liability, is here. He's not running around with the speed of sound with his Chewy Scarf on, crunching everything this time. We decided to go for again, a bulky offensive approach. We are Impish Intimidate. If you want to look at it this way, he's more of our physical wall. Like I said, Inside Out was our special wall. This is more of our physical wall on the team. Impish Intimidate, Earthquake, Iron Tail, Knockoff, and Stealth Rock. The only downside about this moveset is we can't touch the Mega Pinsir. That's not necessarily a bad thing either, though, and I'll explain in a second. The reason we're running Iron Tail is for the Gramble, because we'll get Intimidate drop off on the Gramble. We do outspeed, and Iron Tail tears through Gramble. Whereas if he intimidates us, Earthquake only does like 30%. Knockoff is a resisted hit. So obviously we gotta run Iron Tail. I'm gonna knock on wood right now. I hope we don't end up missing it, because Iron Tail's accuracy is like 75%. I really don't understand why Iron Tail has the accuracy of 75%. It doesn't make any sense. I guess all those moves are kind of like that. Like Slam and Iron Tail, both the moves that you try and hit niggas with your tail, is it because your back is turned? You don't know where the hell you're trying to slam your tail down at? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know why it's 75% accurate, but on the off chance that we do miss, that would suck, because we're not going to appreciate it, play rough. But when it comes to the Mega Pinsir, we don't have anything specifically to hit it with because we're not carrying Stone Edge. Knockoff and Iron Tail both do around 30%. Like 25, 28, 30%, somewhere around that range. So, and I think a close combat after Intimidate drop, I think it's like a 2-hit kill or a 3-hit kill because we're Impish Intimidate with leftovers, and it's not Stab coming from Mega Pinsir. Of course, if he has a Swords Dance up, that's an entirely different situation. But without that, and EQ, a close combat, we can live 1 or 2 at least, and we can hit back with either knockoff, which is 100% accurate, and do 30 damage each time because it's Stab, and because we're not getting a knockoff booth because we can't knock off a Mega Stone. Or if you want to be that guy, we can go for an Iron Tail, or if he switches in on the Iron Tail, it's still going to do about 30% to him. So even if it comes down to liability against the Mega Pinsir, we can still do something. It's not ideal because it's not Stone Edge, but at the same time, this is a more beneficial moveset for the rest of the team, and it is 100% priority that we get rocks up. We have to get rocks up because, like I said, when it comes to Shady's team against ours, his team is just better on paper. So we have to take advantage of any chip damage we can get. It's ideal for us to get rocks up. It's ideal for us to try and poison some of his Pokemon or to get hacks. We got to get those max rolls, or hope and pray we can get max rolls and crits and stuff like that, because I feel like that and a misplay or two is going to make this entire match. So it's very, very scary. He's got 248 HP, 8 in attack, 252 defense. 8 in attack is there so that if we get a crit, it matters. If we get a crit, we can end up maybe potentially knocking something out. So it's very, very scary. I don't have the most confidence going up against Shady, but I'm confident that this team is the best team that we can possibly put together to take on Shady's team. It's just very, very scary because he has so many threats, so many threatening Pokemon on his team. And it's just, it's very, very difficult because there's so much pressure, because we're 5-0. And this week's UCL battle is so rushed. I just got back from, I'm actually recording this on Tuesday, if you guys didn't know. I just got back from a family trip to Vegas on Sunday night, and then all day Monday I was playing catch up. And then today I sat down and team built with Nexus. I'm recording this video, and immediately after this I'm going to battle Shady. So it's very, very rushed. Everything's put together, so I hope I'm not overlooking anything. I hope I'm not missing something, and I hope I don't end up misplaying, knock on wood, again in the battle, because that would suck, because I would absolutely love to continue the streak. Even if we weren't 5-0 right now, I would still be having just as much fun as we are doing these UCL matches. Excuse me. But still, Shady has a very big uphill battle for him as well, because he's going up against us this week and Joey next week. And the Tucson Terrakions and the Bronx Beartics are the only 2 undefeated teams in the league right now. So Shady could potentially be the Brock Lesnar to our Undertaker, and that's not good, okay? But either way, all stress aside and whatnot, I'm ready for this battle. I'm very excited. I'm very nervous for this battle. Shady and I don't get the opportunity to battle that often. And I know that a lot of you guys have eyes open for this battle. And if this ends up being the battle that ends our streak, there honestly isn't anyone else that I would rather have our first loss to than Shady Penguin. And of course, even if we do lose, it's the end of the streak, but it's not the end of us getting wins in this season. We can still make it to playoffs with 1 loss under our belt. So, I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. Let me know what you guys think about the team for this week in the comment section below. Let me know any changes or additions or subtractions you would make to the team. And of course, like I said, if you're hyped for this week's UCL battle, and of course, if you're a proud member of the Nappy Nation, make sure you smash the like button down below for us. But with that, I'm gonna get up out of here. Thank y'all once again for your support, and thank you for checking out the video. Give me YouTube Apple 92. I'm out.